Hello, I'm Mike. I'm the head researcher at Asymmetry Labs with years of experience researching and trading financial markets. Today I'm going to walk you through how Polymarket actually works, and at the end, I'll share one simple strategy I personally use to make money on it. So what is Polymarket? At its core, it's a website where people bet on whether things will happen. Will it rain tomorrow? Will a politician win? Will a company get bought? If you think something will happen and you're right, you win money. If you're wrong, you lose it. The more people agree something will happen, the more expensive it is to bet on. The less likely something seems, the cheaper the bet. That's really it. But let me explain the mechanics, because this part matters. Every market on Polymarket has only two answers, yes and no. And here's the key rule that makes the whole system work. Yes and no always add up to $1. So if yes costs 70 cents, no costs 30 cents. Together, $1. You buy whichever answer you think will happen. When the event resolves, the correct answer becomes worth $1 and the wrong answer becomes worth 0. Simple example. You're betting on whether it will rain tomorrow. You buy yes for 70 cents. It rains. Yes becomes $1. You make 30 cents profit. If it doesn't rain, yes becomes 0 and you lose your 70 cents. Now, what are people actually betting on? Not silly things, mostly real-world events. Elections, interest rate decisions, tech launches, crypto developments, laws, regulatory approvals. I've been researching and trading crypto and financial markets for years, so I usually focus on crypto bets. I'll get into that more later. Here's what makes Polymarket interesting. The price itself is information. If yes is trading at 80 cents, that means the crowd believes there's roughly an 80% chance the event will happen. If it's at 20 cents, people think it's unlikely. So Polymarket is simultaneously a bet, a forecast, and a crowd opinion. When I want to know how something is most likely to play out before it happens, like who the next president will be, I just check Polymarket. It's often more accurate than polls. Now let's talk about making money. And I need to start with one important rule. On Polymarket, you are not trying to gamble. You are trying to be more informed than the average person. If you don't have an information edge, you are just gambling. This distinction matters more than any strategy I'm about to share. Some categories on Polymarket are basically coin flips. Others reward reading the news carefully and thinking clearly. You want the second kind. Let me tell you which categories to avoid. Sports looks fun. It's actually dangerous. Sports prices already include professional models, sharp bettors, and bookmaker-style efficiency. One random event, an injury, a bad call, a red card, destroys your position. You have zero speed advantage against people who do this professionally. Sports on Polymarket is pure gambling for most people. The house always wins, and on Polymarket, the house is a 23-year-old quant with a Python script. I don't usually follow matches anyway, so I stay out. Entertainment, memes, pop culture, same problem, different flavor. No clear rules, outcomes depend on public mood, and there's constant resolution risk where the outcome ends up ambiguous. Too much noise, too little signal, I don't touch it. Now here's where it gets interesting. The categories you should focus on. Politics sounds scary, but it's actually the cleanest. Outcomes are binary and well-defined. Information comes from polls, official statements, court rulings, things you can actually research. And here's the edge. Prices often overreact to headlines. Many participants are emotional, biased, or partisan. They panic. They follow narratives instead of facts. Your edge as a beginner is simple. Read calmly. Wait for overreactions. Don't trade emotions. When a market crashes 10 or 15% because of one bad headline, but nothing structurally changed, that's opportunity. If you're someone who closely follows the news and enjoys analyzing world events, politics is where you can actually generate income from that habit. Macro and economic policy markets work similarly. Things like, will the Fed cut rates by January? Or will inflation be above this number? These are slow-moving. Information is public. The crowd reacts late. Probabilities shift gradually. This rewards patience, basic economic understanding, and not panicking. If you've studied economics at all, you have an advantage here. Crypto markets can be good, but only if the event is very clear and resolution rules are precise. Good examples: ETF approval, network upgrades, regulatory decisions. Bad examples: anything price-based without exact definitions or vague will token X outperform questions. If you're a trader, Polymarket is actually great for hedging. Let's say I'm holding Bitcoin and I'm worried about a bad event. I can buy a Polymarket position that pays out if the bad outcome happens. It works like insurance. One sentence to remember: if the market rewards being fast, avoid it. If the market rewards being calm, that's your home. Now let's talk strategies. The first one people try is fast news reaction. News drops, the price hasn't updated yet, you buy before it moves. In theory, great. In practice, professionals use bots, news APIs, and automated trading. By the time you click, the edge is gone. If you are not automated, do not do this. The strategy I actually recommend for beginners is hunting mispriced markets. This means the crowd overreacted or underreacted, so the price is wrong. You're not predicting the future. You're saying, this price doesn't make sense. Here's an example. A market asks whether a bill will pass this month. One negative headline appears. Yes drops from 70 cents to 45 cents. But the actual process didn't change. The deadline is still far away. Nothing structural shifted. You buy yes cheap. Humans panic. Humans follow headlines. Markets move more than reality does. This strategy is slow, calm, and rewards thinking instead of reacting. It's where beginners survive. There's another strategy called the Endgame sweep. Near the end of a market, when the outcome is almost certain but not priced at $1 yet, you buy at 98 or 99 cents and wait for resolution. Feels safe. High win rate. Very boring. But here's the hidden risk. You're risking 98 cents to make 2 cents. The math feels safe until you realize you need to be right 50 times just to recover from being wrong once. Not exactly a relaxing hobby. One surprise, a delayed resolution, a flipped outcome, and you're destroyed. Only do this with very small size, if at all. Arbitrage is when yes and no together cost less than $1. You buy both, and no matter what happens, you profit. Beautiful in theory. In practice, these opportunities are rare, and bots take them instantly. Nice to understand, hard to execute manually. For a while, I actually traded the 15-minute Bitcoin price prediction markets on Polymarket. They were surprisingly interesting. As soon as a new market opened, I'd wait for either yes or no to drop below 30 cents. When that happened, I'd buy the cheaper side immediately. Then I'd wait for the opposite side to drop. Once the spread reached around 3 to 5 cents, I'd buy that side too. Because each round only lasted 15 minutes, I could repeat this all day. Over time, it became clear that many wallets were running the same automated logic. It turned into a small arbitrage farm. Copy trading. Watching a smart wallet and doing what they do looks easy. It's actually a trap. You don't know why they entered, when they'll exit, or if they're hedging elsewhere. You're always late, and when they're wrong, you copy the losses without understanding what went wrong. Dangerous illusion. Bots are powerful for speed, arbitrage, and market making. But bots compete with other bots, and they're terrible at understanding context, political nuance, or legal ambiguity. Not beginner territory. So, if I had to rank these, mispriced markets first, endgame sweep only with tiny size, arbitrage is educational but rare, and avoid copy trading, fast news reaction, and bots entirely. One rule worth remembering. If a strategy sounds easy, fast, or automated, professionals already own it. If it sounds boring and slow, that's where beginners survive. Now sizing. 2 variables. How confident you are and how much you can afford to lose. There's a formula called the Kelly criterion that tells you optimal bet size based on your edge and odds. Roughly, bet bigger when your edge is large and the payout is good, smaller when either shrinks. Full Kelly is aggressive. Most people use half or quarter Kelly to reduce volatility. But here's the practical reality. You don't actually know your edge. You think you do. So start smaller than feels right. A loose framework, high conviction with clear reasoning, maybe 5 to 10% of your bankroll. Decent idea with some uncertainty, 1 to 3%. Speculative and just interesting, under 1%. The survival rule is simple. Size so that a string of losses doesn't knock you out. If 5 wrong bets in a row would hurt your ability to keep playing, you're sizing too big. There's also an emotional test. If you're checking the market every few minutes, anxious, unable to think about anything else, you've bet too much. Right sizing feels almost boring, which I realize is not exactly a selling point. But boring is how you stay in the game. Start small, track everything, adjust once you have real data on your own hit rate. Your first months are tuition, not income. Before touching any market, run through this checklist. Is the outcome clearly defined? Can new information arrive gradually, not instantly? Are participants emotional or biased? Can I wait calmly instead of reacting fast? If you answer yes to most of these, it's probably a good market. If not, skip it. And watch out for the most common beginner mistake: betting because something feels likely, or because everyone on social media says so, or because the price already moved a lot. On Polymarket, the price already includes what everyone feels. You only make money when the price is wrong. The simple beginner approach: choose politics or macro, wait for a big price move caused by news. Ask yourself whether that news really changed the final outcome, and if not, take the other side with small size. Hold until calm returns. No speed, no stress, no gambling. That's the basic idea. Polymarket isn't gambling if you treat it like a market. Understand the structure, manage risk, and focus on where the edge actually is. This is Asymmetry Labs. See you.